So in this video, I'm going to talk about business models that make money and business models that lose money. If you have ever tried to start a side hustle, you tried to start your own business, you've probably come across some of the challenges that actually have a business that makes money. See, some people, they want to get involved and they will have something they're passionate about, and that's fine, but passion doesn't always equal money. So I'm going to tell you a little story on how I kind of got started in this whole passion. And one of the things I do right now, people say, well, John, like, I see you doing all these videos, but what's actually your business model? It's very simple. I put a lot of content on social media. I fly around the world, I do keynote speeches to thousands of people, and then people will send me an email, or they'll send me a DM, they'll say, John, I've got a business, can you help advise me in the business? And I say yes, either for a fee or for equity, which is what I prefer. So if any of you watching this, by the way, and you want someone to come in as an advisor to advise your company to help you double the income, triple the income, 10x the income, then do let me know. So you see, that's an example of a call to action. So when I talk about business models that work and business models that don't work, one of the things I've seen is that if you do a business, but you are not passionate about that business and you're just doing it for the money, it won't make money, right? And long term. Short term, yes, but long term, you won't have the energy to drive through. I was speaking to a friend of mine, Kevin, and we were having this long conversation till 3 a.m. in the morning. And he said, it's okay to have businesses that do well now, but will that business make money a year from now, 5 years from now, 10 years from now? And actually, I can tell you this, a lot of the times people, they stay stuck in that business, and when the market changes, I mean, look at what happened in COVID, right? It took a lot of businesses out. Why? Because they didn't have that ability to adapt to the new market, they didn't have the ability to adapt to that new business model. And so business models that make money, number one, has to have something that you really are passionate about. The quote by Steve Jobs talks about, if you look yourself in the mirror and you ask yourself the question, are you happy? And the answer is consistently no, then you got to do something else. And so for me, I got involved in a lot of businesses which I actually wasn't passionate about. Let's take a classic example, real estate. I made millions and millions of dollars from real estate. I built a multi-million pound property portfolio. But am I passionate about it? Not really. Right? I'm passionate about what it can do for lifestyle and to build a and it's not that hard to become a property millionaire. Just let me get the distinction correct here. So we look at the net worth. So let's say you have a portfolio that is worth, $1 million, right? But you owe $500,000, then your net worth would, if you minus all that, if you was to sell everything, then your net worth would be $500,000. Right? I'm not talking about having millions and millions of dollars in the bank. I'm talking about creating assets that grow. So another business model you want to look for is not just businesses that create income, but can a business create equity, right? So now there are different types of equity, and some people say, John, isn't equity really hard to get hold of? No, it's not, because equity has also security. So for example, you see a lot of people who are equity rich, but they are cash poor. So they've got a house, for example, in London that they bought 30, 50 years ago, and now it's worth millions, right? So what people do is they refinance. You can get something called a drawdown facility where you can have a loan that is secured against that. That's how a lot of rich people take money out of their assets, because when you take out as a loan, you don't get taxed on it because you have to pay that loan back plus with interest. So business models that I've seen over the last 20 years, and one of the best ones I really think is being able to tag along somebody else's momentum, if that makes sense. So let me explain. So I have friends that run a lot of big events, right? They have thousands of people that show up, and I tag along to that momentum. They've created this big event, and they invite me along to say, hey, John, I'd love for you to become a speaker. Now, every time I speak, I'm able to generate a lot of opportunities, right? So opportunities, and normally these opportunities happen after the event. They don't typically happen straight away. They happen after the event. Oh, John, can we go for a coffee? John, I'd love to invite you around to my house and pick your brains on something. Or John, I've got this pitch deck. Can you take a look at it and let me know what you think? So business models you want to think about doesn't always have to be your business model. The business model can be somebody else's business model, and you just attach yourself to it, you add value to it, and then you're getting money back. So a friend of mine, Jeremy, talks about this whole process of a work-in, buy-out. So you work in a company, and then you buy it out, right? Or you get bought out. So, and by the way, later I will upload an interview that I did with him on his yacht, on his private yacht. It's incredible. Like, I was sitting in this yacht and it's like worth millions and millions and millions. And you look at what he's doing, he's like IPO'd over 100 companies. So when you look at how people are operating, sometimes business models is not always transacting a fee to get something back, or you're selling a service or a product and you get something back. Sometimes it's actually about attaching yourself to someone else's business model, adding value to that, and then you get an exit from that. So I know a lot of people that advise people's companies, and when they advise, and so let's say the business is here, but they help it take it to here. Anything above their normal rates, they would actually get a cut off. So that's another way to be able to start creating a good profitable business model as well. Now let me give you another one. So recently I spoke at an event called Affiliate World. And Affiliate World is really, I don't know if any of you have referred other people's products and services before to somebody else, but when you refer a product or service to somebody else, you get paid a commission for it. So let's say I say, hey, you should buy this camera, and I've gone to another company, that person will give me a cut of that business. You got to make sure that you're always focusing on adding a little bit of value to really grow to that next level. So if I were to say to you right now, there's maybe 5 things that you can add value to in a business. 1, the marketing. 2, the sales. 3, the hiring. 4, the funding. Number 5 is the overall strategy of that company. So if you can go into one of these 5 things, what happens is you're now able to start growing that company, because the company generates more leads, they make more money, therefore you get rewarded for it. So anything above what that flat line is, that's how you make money. So that's one of the best business models that you can start. Why? Because that business model is not, you don't have the costs. You don't have to hire a team. You don't have to have offices. You don't have to, pay for the big branding and advertising. All you got to do is have the skill set, and you insert it into the business, and then it grows. Think of it as a business is already, think of it like you're the fuel. You put the fuel in the fire and poof, it blows up even more. That's what you want to do. You want to help it get to the next level. Another business model as well that people always come to me for is to say, John, like, you invest in a lot of companies. Yes, I do. I invest in a lot of companies, and actually it takes a long time to get your money back from those companies. So that's why when you are creating these business models that make money, you need to have short, medium, and long term. Right? Short, medium, and long term. Sorry, I've got something. Flies are flying around. So you could have short, medium, and long term. So when you're investing in companies, sometimes you don't see an IPO or an exit for 7 to 10 years, right? Sometimes you can get bought out. Sometimes you can invest in a company as well. You can, let's say you get shares in a company, but that shares, you can't sell it unless that company gets acquired. So what you can do, there's platforms where it's called a secondary. So what happens is, let's say I invest in a company and someone says, oh my John, I love that company that you invested in. Can I buy your shares? So that's what we call a secondary market. So when you have equity in that company, you're kind of at the top, and then the secondary is when someone buys your shares from you. So that's another way you could actually start, having a profitable business model. Because again, over the last 20 years of me being in business, I think the slowest way to make money is to actually create a business where you're selling a product for a service, unless you've got a lot of volume. It's actually better to build the equity and the intrinsic value in a company, and then get a few of those exits, and then you get a big lump sum of cash. That's actually the smartest way to do it. Now, of course, you're going to have contracts in place. You need to have what we call an LC, which stands for basically a legal coach that comes into your company, and they can advise you on all your contracts, or the agreements, or the partnership models, or the agreements that you have with them. It makes a massive impact. So start thinking about, what are the ways that you can add value? What are the ways you can add intrinsic value? And what are some of the ways that you can help grow a company? Because by doing that, you get rewarded in direct proportion to the value that you're adding to the company. So if you look at all the business models that I've created, it's all designed to create leverage and to create opportunities, right? So people say, well, John, don't you offer programs and courses? Yeah, we do. And that really just kind of, it ticks along, it's okay. But actually, the money is not in the front end, it's in the back end. The money is not in someone buying a course and then taking it, right? The money is actually someone taking the course, and then they implement it, they do great, and then you go into business with that person. Partnerships. right? Now, don't get me wrong, the first business model, of course, it has to make income, it has to stand alone. But actually, where the big money is when a company, so for example, one of my students, he created a company and someone offered him 72 million to buy it. Imagine how many of the courses you have to sell to do that, right? So I'm not saying that's a bad business model. I'm just saying that you want to create an ecosystem. That's why I do offer the events. That's why I do offer the coaching. That's why I do the speaking. Because when you do that, it creates the opportunities that come. And actually, that's why I love to spend a lot of my time, is to sit down with people, pick the business apart, find all the different strategies, and really, I kind of go in as like a chief strategy officer. So I see all the business model, I see all the things they sell, and I say, if you do this, 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 and this, your business will go to the next level. And that's actually one of the reasons why I do a lot of complimentary events as well. In fact, if any of you would love to attend any of our live summits, you want to grow a business, take a business to the next level, grow a brand, learn investing, I'll put a link in the description. You can check it out, and you're going to take it completely free of charge because a lot of you are now following me. All I ask is that you share my videos with people and ask them to subscribe to this channel, because I'll always be giving a lot of great value that I learn and all the lessons that I learn. And all the lessons are not always great. Although I made a lot of money, I lost a lot of money as well. So you have to find that balance, right? So again, business models that make money is not always about trading time for a product or a service to get money back. It's also looking at intrinsic value that you can put into something that can grow without you having any of the risks associated with that. And therefore, by doing that, you're now able to excel to the next level. So if you have any questions, by the way, leave a comment below and I'll personally come and answer your question. Other than that, make sure you subscribe to the channel, like the channel, this video, because it will really help the channel, and check out this video here.